Some more tomfoolery and shenanigans are going on in the world of blockchain, and this time it's on Solana. Wallets, over 8,000 of them, were drained overnight in what amounts to a pretty crazy hack, attack, bug, flaw. No one's quite sure yet, but that's a lot of people. If you have a Phantom wallet or a Slope wallet or a Trust wallet, it's a good time to check your funds, make sure you weren't impacted by this exploit. Kind of crazy. This is one that seems to affect a bunch of wallets across the ecosystem. It's not just one issue here. So this was sort of transpiring overnight, and I think it's still unclear how much funds were drained here. So check your wallets, folks. This one is kind of an interesting story of things going wrong and no one being quite sure why. I'm going to toss this to Will for his initial thoughts on this situation.
Good to see you again, Zach. Hope vacation was good.
Yeah, it was nice.
Good to see you as always. No, this hack was really interesting, right? It followed after the Nomad hack. Was it last week or over the weekend? Which was also a huge hack, one of the largest in DeFi's history. And that one was pretty standard in terms of hacks we've seen over the last 2 years. It was a bridge attack where someone was able to get into the code and siphon off a bunch of funds. Here, it seems like a bunch of wallets that probably were using a lot of the same dependencies from their code bases were hacked. And 6,000 plus wallets, and I've seen between $2 to $6 million in funds being taken as well. No one's quite sure what the total amount is, and a lot of people are just finding out themselves, right? They're going to their Solana wallet, they're looking at their NFTs and realizing, hey, I don't have any of my SOL tokens left, or my USDC on Solana is now gone. There's even been some reports of some Ethereum wallets also being swept. It doesn't seem like this is a chain issue, right? It's not like Solana is broken or Ethereum is broken. It seems to be something on the wallet layer where these wallets were using similar dependencies for the code behind it, the crypto, and it is broken on some level. Someone figured it out and someone took all this money. The big bummer part about this is really the retail implications, right? The fact that someone had their hot wallet and they didn't really know what this is for. They're probably new to the ecosystem because they're using Solana, which is a very easy onboarding experience for most people. And they just had all their tokens stolen just because the wallet wasn't configured correctly or there was some sort of hack in it. And so this really is affecting retail in a different way than other hacks often are not affecting retail. They can affect retail, but oftentimes they're affecting larger projects that have some sort of backstop or have some sort of institutional investors. And those are the investors who get washed out, not necessarily the retail. So it's wild to see that happen, and it's a huge bummer. And this comes, of course, after we've seen a nice little pump and resurgence in tokens over the last 30 days or so. Wendy, welcome back to the show. I won't give you the hot seat quite yet. I'll actually throw the story to Jen for her take, but we're talking about Solana and what an awful night last night was.
Well, you actually did that to me one time. I had some technical issues, came back to the show, and you're like, Jen, what do you think?
It was just a mess with you.
And I said some random stuff. Yeah. Anyways, I only had $100 worth of SOL in my Phantom wallet, and I was sweating. So I can only imagine how people with all of their SOL in their Phantom wallet, because they've just onboarded and it's, an easy way to store your crypto. Maybe they haven't figured out how to use a cold wallet yet. They haven't set one up yet. And this was the thing that kind of pushed them to figure it out. I was running around my house, looking for that $100, looking for an empty ledger that I could put my 1.5 SOL onto. And I felt sorry for the retail customers. I think this is, again, another situation of crypto tuition, crypto university. Solana is really easy to use, but these are some of the downfalls that we're experiencing in the ecosystem, and it's super, super important to understand how to store your crypto. So if you didn't have a hard wallet last night, I'm sure that you'll be online buying one today, so that you can only keep what you need in your hot wallet. Wendy, what do you got?
I actually was, right when I saw the story break, I posted on all of my socials. So I tried to reach over 700,000 people. And of course, the video didn't do well because nobody cares about OPSEC ever. But what I will say is I was kind of freaked out. I also woke up at 2 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, I have to double check my stuff again, make sure everything is safe. But another piece of advice that I do want to give people is try not to use a cell phone to store your cryptocurrency. If you're using your cell phone that you use every day and you're trying to store your cryptocurrency or your NFTs there, it's silly. Have multiple different phones. I do. These aren't even all the phones that I have. And on top of it, you need to manually write your seed phrase down or your password, whatever it is that you're using. Don't keep it online. Don't use one of those password managers. I think that is very dangerous, and I think it puts you at more risk. You're going to have to do things the old-fashioned way. Write that stuff manually down. But again, I feel really terrible for anybody who is impacted. It is just really, really sad that the industry is not built out the way we need to be, especially when we're getting closer and closer and closer to mass adoption.
Yeah, the plane is being assembled in mid-flight. I mean, I think this is a good reminder that DeFi is still quite experimental, and even something as fundamental as wallet technology can have major flaws. So when we talk about the experimental wilds of DeFi, be it on Ethereum or Solana, this is kind of what we're talking about. Things like this have and do happen, and it's interesting to see new ways that money keeps getting pilfered. People take advantage of these systems. It is raw market forces out there. If there's something to be taken advantage of, someone clever enough to do it will likely do it. So it's interesting to think about ways to protect one's funds in an environment such as this. But Will, I saw your hands up. What do you got?
Yeah, I want to ask everybody about the implications here. So you just brought up don't leave crypto on a phone, right? But Solana has been building a phone, and they've been getting a lot of heat over the last 12 hours about all these problems with the Solana platform, whether that be the wallets or chain interruptions or other hacks. And then they're still focused on different projects like the Solana phone. So do you guys think it's fair to levy that criticism at Solana or Solana ecosystem, or is that like the wrong approach? Because I think entrepreneurs often get blasted for being experimental and pushing the boundaries on things when we have these huge hacks, but everyone also likes when they get their new phone, or they like when they get this new product. Wendy?
Personally, I would not use the phone any way, shape, or form, especially for my crypto. Well, maybe if it's just like walking around money, but I don't walk around with a lot of money in my wallet. And I take that type of ideology when it comes to crypto. I think it's important for them as entrepreneurs to release new things, but at the same time, they should put a longer date on when they're going to release it and kind of get their network in order. Because if they don't get their network in order and they just keep pushing, they're going to put their customers and their community at risk. And I just don't think it is a good idea at this current time to kind of integrate with a phone. And I'm kind of like old school, and the people that taught me about how to safely store my crypto, they were super Bitcoin OGs in the space. And it was always known, you don't keep your crypto on your phone. And if you're going to use your phone for anything, especially 2FA, keep it offline. You use a separate email and don't have anything linked to you.